So, I am in my homeland once again. Already I feel how unwelcome it has become. My eyes are no longer used to its darkness, and my senses to the hint of the threat around every corner.
We must tread with caution, Lilly Black. There are no doubt drow in this place, along with beholders, Illithid, Kuatoa, and perhaps even worse. I have to be honest, not sure what Kuatoa are. The denizens here will expect no mercy and will offer none. If we are to survive long enough to find your Irenicus, we must be stronger than any of them. Wow. So, already we've entered a new chapter, and this is certainly not Athkatla. We've entered the Underdark. We've been delaying outfitting Imoen properly, thinking we could go back to the city, but certainly not going to be able to do that now. So I actually see where we are. Oh, look at that. So here's the asylum. I guess on its possibly a smaller isle near Brynlaw. And I guess we're in the Underdark, actually under the Sea of Swords. It's interesting. Okay. But yeah, I think we're going to have to, well, actually I want to comment a little bit on the cutscene that we saw with John Irenicus talking to the matron mother, who, of course, look like drow, presumably here in the Underdark, and two prisoners that came up that recognized John actually referred to him as Jonaleth. Of course, he killed them before I guess they could identify him. And Lilly would have known about this. I had forgotten about it because it was in the game manual and I haven't read it for a while. But it would have been common knowledge about some things that we've read in his first journal. So I actually want to just go over that quickly now. And what it is, well, one, John and Bodhi are both elves. Not sure we realized that before we read these journal entries. And supposedly they're from Suldanislar. Suldanislar, I think. Probably pronounced it wrong. But it's an elven city, I guess to the south. Not sure if we can actually bring it up or if it's even here. Yeah, it shows you on the map of the game. It's somewhere down here. An elven city that's, I guess, hidden among the trees. That's how it was described. Ruled by Queen Elisame, whose name was mentioned in John's journal here. And I think the rumor is that she's immortal, granted immortality by a tree of life there in Suldanislar. But it sounds like both John and Bodhi were punished by Elisame, I guess with this curse, of which Imoen's and Lilly's souls have cured. And now he's simply going back to exact revenge. So I guess we'd expect to find him there, ultimately. The other rumor that was mentioned, I guess would be common knowledge, is that the drow plot to overthrow the city. Which makes sense then. He's meeting with the matron mother, and their motivations are aligned to take down that city together, perhaps. So it's all starting to make sense. I guess the one question is about John's lost love. Is it actually Queen Elisame herself? Maybe he's been scorned? Or is it maybe he thinks that she caused his love's death? Not sure yet, but I'm assuming we're going to find out before the end of this story. But it's certainly interesting so far. Alright. But as I was saying before, we've been delaying to outfit Imoen properly. I think we're going to have to take the time to do that now. And it kind of stinks because we just entered a new chapter, and this is certainly not going to be an exciting session then. But I think we need to do it. Of course, it makes no sense mechanically, but Lilly would rather risk Nalia's life with lethal traps than Imoen's. So Nalia's going to have to assume the role of company thief, as bad as she is at it. and Imoen's going to be more of her apprentice or assistant. I think we need to make some room, so put some things in the bag of holding. Alright, Hand of Dase, Mithril tokens, Jensen bowstring, Yoshimo's katana. Knight's Gift +5 is probably worse than the Shadow Dragon scale. Put that away. Probably ultimately sell it one day. And this, I realized when we fought Yoshimo, this is why Chihiro, even with True Sight, couldn't see him when he went invisible. Because, and Lilly had actually given him this cloak, at least temporarily, used against us. But I forgot. That's why we couldn't see him during that fight. Every time he went invisible. Alright. I think we're just going to have to get rid of these bolts, even though they're enchanted. It seems like a shame, but we're just not going to have the room. Especially as we've just arrived in the Underdark. Alright, Yoshi's heart to the bag of holding. Until Lilly decides what she wants to do with it. And, just thought of that now. Maybe she could offer that into the engine room in the planar sphere. Get those Salamic Knights home. With Yoshimo's heart. Alright. Pearly White Ion Stone for regeneration, I think. Should probably let, just for now at least, everyone use that. Now they can take the... Or actually, regeneration will probably... Being that Nalia will probably step on a few traps. Flip this around. Okay. Alright, more things for the bag of holding. Including this I wanted to talk about. Alright, Galvana's Medallion. And Curdlemac's Crystal Shard. Luckily, we never met a dragon named Curdlemac. We might still yet. Hopefully not. The Silver Blade we got from Saman Havarian. In fact, I remarked that Vorpal sounded awfully familiar to me, I guess going back to first edition books. So I actually looked this up again in the second edition Dungeon Master's Guide. And I just wanted to, I guess, explain why it's so special that it's Vorpal. There are two classes of weapons, well, specialty weapons. One level being a Sword of Sharpness. Given that property of sharpness, means that the sword has the ability to sever a limb or even a tail of an enemy, which of course could incapacitate them from wielding a weapon or running, things like that. But the next stage beyond that is a Vorpal weapon. So a Vorpal weapon is actually a weapon of sharpness, but with the added property of the chance to decapitate your enemy. And for most creatures, what that means is instant death. So regardless of their hit points, if you can decapitate your enemy with a Vorpal weapon, you've essentially killed them outright. That's why they're so special. But what's interesting with this is not only a Vorpal weapon, or part of it, but it's a silver sword. And of course here, in the possession of the Githyanki, and it might sound familiar to, I can't remember which Neverwinter Nights game, but I think this comes up in one of them. But here's a quote from the Monstrous Manual. This is for second edition. If a silver sword should fall into a non-Githyanki's hands, very powerful raiding parties will be formed to recover it. So I think there might even be a danger of even just holding on to this in our inventory. Curious if it will be attacked by a Githyanki raiding party trying to get its silver sword blade back. That would be interesting. I don't think Lilly's going to let that intimidate her, though. I just wanted to relay that. Alright. Almost losing track of what we're doing. Alright, so essentially we need to swap equipment between Imoen and Nalia, and this is going to be tricky. Just don't want to lose track of the one that's full. Okay. I think just to make even more room, we're going to drop normal arrows. Okay. +3 bow to Nalia. That requires no ammunition. So I think all other ammunition will be going to Imoen once she has room. Alright. Thieving equipment like potions of invisibility. Probably sell the potion of absorption. Master Thievery to Nalia. And the problem with these rings, we have 2 thieving rings. I thought. Here's another one. Alright. Book of Infinite Spells to Imoen. Yeah, we have both Ring of Danger Sense and Lockpicks. But she has the Signet Ring, so... gonna have to make a decision here. I guess trap detection most of the time. Okay. Boots of Stealth. I think all this stuff... the accoutrements of a black apprenticeship, you might call it. Alright. Alright, Leryl's Tear Necklace. Given back to Lilly as she now has this Metaspell Influence Amulet. Cloak of Reflection. Just for now, give that to Jaheira. Alright. Braces of Defense. What is this? Traveler's Robe. Alright. That Lily's lending to her. Ring of Regeneration. Okay. Probably end up selling this Ring of Fire Resistance. We have spells to grant 50%. Even better. See what I think. And, okay, that's Lily's robe. Alright, arrows. So I guess we'll, anti-troll arrows. I think maybe, I was tempted to drop the darts for now. We don't really have a short sword for Imoen. I think that's what she's proficient with. Oh, not necessarily dagger. But she shouldn't really be, close to danger anyway. I think we'll just let her use up these darts for now. Alright. Giving the rest of the arrows to Imoen. Oh, here we go. Fire arrows. Okay. Almost there. Alright, breach. Extra copy. And, probably sell this then. I don't think Lily quite wants to give it to Nalia. Alright. Oils of Speed are kind of redundant. Mazzy has a haste ability. Redistribute Oils of Speed to Viconia and Jaheira.